This is KNX In Depth. Mike Simpson and Charles Feldman.
One of my late mother's former husbands was in the restaurant business. I forgot which one. It was one of them. So I have a kind of an idea about what restaurants across Southern California and across the country are probably going through as they fight for survival right now, adjusting to a life of takeout-only business. And it hasn't been easy doing that. Neither is keeping staff on the payroll through this quarantine period.
Yeah, Maria's Italian Kitchen is an L.A. chain trying to stay afloat like all the restaurants. Same time, though, they're cooking up thousands of meals for people in need. Madelyn Alfano is the owner, Maria's Italian Kitchen. So how you been doing trying to do both? Because it's not easy to do one, and you're doing both.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. And one of the things that's wonderful about restaurants in general is we are always the most philanthropic business. As you know, Little League and every fundraiser, every charitable event, they always the item that goes quickest in the silent auctions are the restaurants. So many of my restaurant colleagues have been giving to the communities for years. This is, of course, an unusual time, and it's unprecedented because there's no dine-in business, and many of my friends who own restaurants have actually shuttered their doors. What Maria's has been doing, which I'm very proud of, is over the past 40 years, when my parents first opened their little takeout in Brentwood out of their grocery store, they started with only a takeout. So when we first opened, we had a really good sense of how to do takeout and delivery. And Maria's has been about, I would say, 30% in some stores and 40% has always been takeout and delivery. Now with the shutdown of the dine-in, we've lost over 50% of our business, and now obviously it's all takeout and delivery, and we lost about 48%. We had to furlough about 48% of our staff. I had to close 2 locations. So it's been challenging, but I must say that our team has really rallied to give back, and as you mentioned on the show, what we did is on our website, we put a link on the mariasitaliankitchen.com or mariaskitchen.com website, a link to feed the frontliners, and right at the heading it's like donate food, donate a meal. And we have gotten 450 donations. There's $15 a meal, and we've prepared over it's almost close to 1,000 meals now in the past 2 weeks that we've delivered, and I've actually personally delivered most of them because it just gives me such great joy to bring the meals and talk to the doctors and the fire department and the police department. It's great. And what's interesting is yesterday we got a customer. It was a good complaint. He said, "Hey, you forgot about the San Gabriel Valley. You have a restaurant in Pasadena." So within minutes, we popped up a card that says, feed the frontline workers in San Gabriel Valley.
Nice.
So any of your listeners that want to donate, they go on mariaskitchen.com and they can click on any type of. We do the vets. We're doing there's a safe park.
Right, good for you. Let me ask something, Matt. Let me ask you a kind of a tough question, maybe for the future, because the governor today in California is talking about a blueprint going forward to try to get back to normal, and we had other guests on talking about what that might look like. You're in the restaurant business. What will that look like for you? Because there is going to come a time when business, hopefully, will start going back to normal. But do your restaurants open the doors, and how do you seat your customers? What do you do when one customer comes in and the person in the next table coughs and the other customer gets uncomfortable with that? How are you going to do that going forward?
It's challenging to eat through a mask, yes. Well, it's interesting because I know in many other parts of the world they've cut back their seating capacity by 50%. So our restaurants are small. They're 2,800 square feet. And it would seem that you have to seat every other table, and then what if that table gets up, but then the table next to it? I think it's going to be a work in progress, and just like everything else, we change by the day, and restaurateurs are entrepreneurial. You have to be nimble, and you have to just kind of think outside of the box. I know in those restaurants where they have booths, they're going to be covered because they got those nice booths, but ours is an open restaurant. I think a lot of what's happening now, especially at Maria's, the efficiencies that we've come to have to learn is going to be the new normal for us. The way we operate our online ordering and discounts. We're doing 50% off on wine and $2 for a beer to go, and I think that's going to continue long past this what we're going through right now, because it seems to be popular and successful. So,
people need a glass of wine these days, and you got to be nimble. You're right. Madelyn Alfano, Maria's Italian Kitchen. Best of luck to all the locations and what you're doing, and thanks for feeding all those people with the donations that go into the website there. And thanks for giving us some time here on KNX In Depth.
I figured out it was my mother's second husband.
Went through the list.
I had to think it was the second one when the restaurant stuff. Yeah,
all
number
right.
2.
This has been KNX In Depth. Get that podcast on the radio.com app. We'll be back tomorrow.